avonim shiru lamelech At avonim shiru 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 lamelech V'siferes mefoyo At avonim shiru shiru Lamelech Oy ato vonim shiru 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 lamelech B'siferes mefoyor Oy 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 v'ashrei avodo voyavodo Hamashmiyim b'kol shivcho Oy vi ashrei avodo voyavodo Oy hamashmiyim b'kol shivchoy Ve'ato vonim shiru 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 lamelech Shiru lamelech Oy vi ashrei avodo
Shalom, shalom, folks. What's going on here? I don't know what's going on. Why is this happening? I have no idea. I have no clue, nothing what's going on here. But this is something like totally turning up, brightening up. Well, anyways, shalom, shalom, folks. Shabbat shalom. Shavua tov. May God bless you. God be with you. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. And tomorrow is Memorial Day for us, and we have one more day to go to finish our weekend, the long weekend. And I hope you guys have had a nice weekend. And it was a little bit raining. Last night was totally disastrous. From 3 o'clock, there was a lot of thunder and a lot of lightning and a lot of rain last night. But I hope today we won't be having rain. But we had a very, very hot day today. It is so hot, and it's still hot here. Almost like 9 o'clock in the evening. It's still hot, very hot here. Well, jumping into our subject matter again, again and once again, I am giving you one more time, folks, my disclaimer I'm throwing out. Please, please think that I'm not forcing this to anyone. Especially, I'm not, telling anything about a particular, preacher or teacher or any, the whole Christian community, but I am scrutinizing the Christian community. I am scrutinizing the Christianity because the way that understood the Bible is not the right way they should have been, because they have given some wrong information right from the beginning, and the belief system kicked in. It's very difficult to get out anyone from the belief system, and this has been there for almost centuries. So when you are in a practice of centuries, it's not easy to change you on one sitting or one day preaching. It's not going to happen. It's not about the converting people from Christianity to Judaism, or making bringing the people from outside communities other than Christianity also. This is not the the try or the exercise that I'm doing. What I'm trying to do is here that I am I have no clue why this is happening. But anyway, that's okay, fine. So I'm not trying you guys to bring you guys inside the Judaism, or bring you guys inside the the way that what I'm trying to do here. Not at all. But of course, I am scrutinizing terribly about the Christianity for sure, because I would like to bring the right understanding. Once you understand everything very well, it's up to you. I mean, I'm not going to ask you to do certain things, because it's up to you. You decide yourself whether you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. You decide, folks. I'm not going to do that one. So, folks, this is not the try or exercise to bring you to the Judaism or anything. But still, then, if you want to listen, you listen it. And also, I'm telling you, this will definitely sometimes it will give you some uncomfortable situation, unwanted situation, because the truth that I am pouring out definitely will hurt somebody, because you are in the belief system. That belief system would not allow you to listen or accept whatever I'm saying. But still, I will pour it out so that you can trigger your knowledge system, your computer system, the brain system, and think about it, and then let's see how it works, right? But I am sure in one day, in some day, that you will definitely appreciate me, because I am too early for in your region, because in the Western world, this has been there for a long time, and people are listening to these things, and people are changing, and so many people are right now coming into this Judaism, and they're taking it very seriously in their life and moving on. But in the Eastern world, it is not that much like the Western world. So slowly starting. Probably I might be the first beginner for in the southern India. I'm not sure. I don't know, but maybe some people might have been there already. But at least I'm approaching you guys. Appreciate that. If you ask anything, I'm ready to provide any type of answer, or any questions to be answered, or any other thing that if you want to learn and know about this Judaism, definitely I'll be there. So let's get back to our subject matter. Today it's going to be a very interesting day today, because I'm going to skip the whole 10th chapter, because it is talking about complete divorce and other things. You can read it by yourself. That is not a big deal about that. It's just talking about straight away. It talks about the divorce and who is supposed to divorce. Husband is supposed to divorce, or the wife should divorce, and what are the things that they should follow. So it is very straight one. So you just go and read it. But I am talking about this 11th chapter of Mark, and then we'll see where Mark takes us. All right, let's start reading about this Mark chapter. And when they came nigh to Jerusalem unto Bethpage and Bethany, at the Mount of Olives, he sendeth forth two of his disciples, and saith unto them, Go your way into the village over against you, and as soon as ye be entered into it, ye shall find a colt tied whereon never man sat. Loose him and bring him. If any man say unto you, Why do you do this? Say ye that Lord hath need of him, and straightway he will send him hither. And they went their way, and found the colt tied by the door without in a place where two ways met, and they loose him. And certain of them that stood there said unto them, What do ye loosing the colt? And they said unto them, Even as Jesus had commanded, and they let them go. And they brought the colt to Jesus, and cast their garments on him, and he sat upon him. And many spread their garments in the way, and others cut down branches of the trees, and strewed them in the way. And they that went before and they that followed cried, saying, Hosanna, blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. Blessed be the kingdom of our father David that cometh in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest. And Jesus entered into Jerusalem and into the temple, and when he had looked around upon all things, and now the eventide was come, and he went unto Bethany with the 12. Let's go and see this one. We are going to see at least 3 events in this chapter, Mark 11. Number 1, we're going to see about the Jesus' triumph entry into Jerusalem. And then number 2, we're going to see the fig tree. And number 3, we're going to see Jesus was, correcting all these people in the temple. So these 3 events that we're going to see. So as I told that before, Gospels, the whole New Testament, Gospels are the Pauline's letters. Every one was absolutely influenced by the Old Testament, Tanakh or the Torah. They took everything from the Old Testament and re-narrated it, redesigned it, and put it in a New Testament. See, to fix a God, to tell Jesus or to make Jesus as God, they had to work a lot in the New Testament. They had to find the verses. They had to find the sceneries so that they can, connect those scenes, connect those events to Jesus' story to make a complete story for Jesus. That's why they were doing all these things. You can go and read the New Testament, the Gospels, and get back into the Old Testament. You will find everything by yourself. I don't have to tell anything. So in this here, Jesus is coming into the Jerusalem. This is the triumph entry. And here, they talk about the colt very importantly. Mark talks about the colt, and Luke talks about the colt, and the Matthew talks about the colt. And, the problem in here is Mark and Luke are okay, but Matthew talks about 2 donkeys or 2 colts. Whereas the other people, they talk about 1. This has been taken from Isaiah. Isaiah talks about only 1. So this is a problem because they do this. This is from Hosea also, I think. So this is the problem. What I'm saying is these people copied from the Old Testament. Matthew didn't do a good work on this one because he went and, he wrote two donkeys where it wasn't talked about the two donkeys. So very, very bad thing, because this is how it happened. Matthew is full of flaws when you compare with the Old Testament. He took everything from the Old Testament and he was trying to write it in the New Testament, but he made tons and tons of mistakes in Matthew, the whole book itself. One of the thing is, you go and see this one in the Old Testament. It talks about the one donkey. Mark talks about the one donkey, but in here, Matthew talks about two donkey. Then Jesus was coming. For that, definitely, if you ask any Christian people, they would say, "Oh, brother, you know what? Come on, brother. What do you think? In which world you are in? You don't know anything about the Bible. You don't know anything." Yes, there was two donkeys, but on the way, they put some cloths and everything. He was sitting in only one donkey, and there is no other. There is no two donkeys at all mentioned in the book of the in the prophetic books in the Old Testament. In the Old Testament, it was mentioned only one donkey, but whereas in Matthew he represents two, Mark and Luke represents only one donkey, but Matthew is only one thing that he makes it a big wrong thing. So the discrepancies in the New Testament, always a lot of them, tons and tons of the discrepancies, because they didn't do good work when they copied the everything from the Old Testament. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So they are bringing this the donkey thing, and then Jesus was coming into this Bethany, and then although he's going in like Jerusalem, and disciples and people were shouting and rejoicing and and telling that Jesus was the one who comes in the name of God, in the name of David. They are not telling it's Jesus was the God, Jesus was the Messiah. They said that who comes in the name of God. That's what they were talking. So, So, and they went before that they followed, cried and saying, Hosanna, blessed is that cometh in the name of the Lord. Blessed be the kingdom of our father David that cometh in the name of the Lord. Hosanna is the highest. They didn't tell exactly Jesus was the Messiah or Jesus was the God, but they said that blessed is the one that who come in the name of the Lord. That's again, in the first century, no one saw Jesus was God. They didn't even look at him like he was a God. And but this is all the Christianity that we made it up after some time that made him as a God. But in the first century people, they never seen him as a God or worshipped him as a God. There was nothing going on at the time. So you should understand this one when you read the Bible. That's very, very important when you read the Bible, that you have to understand. So the controversies continues all the way from Mark, because look at the donkeys or the colt. One chapter says 2 and the other one says 1, and there is a confusion, right? So okay. And then now the second one is that, excuse me folks. Second thing, this is very important. Also look at this. This is so critical. I mean, the Bible says in Isaiah 53 that Jesus was despised, rejected, and he was vomited, and he was not being, appreciated by any men. This is what the chapter in Isaiah, this is what the chapter Christianity claims. This is talking about Isaiah 53 is talking about Jesus Christ. Completely, it is explicitly, it is it's very clear that in the Isaiah 53 talking about Jesus Christ. But whereas total opposites are happening, in the Jesus history. Jesus was so popular, people were behind him, People knew him already, so they didn't reject him. They didn't omit him. They didn't despise him. Nothing. They were following in multitude, in thousands and thousands. But in Isaiah 53, it talks about Jesus was despised and he was rejected. People will go and tell again what they would say. They will say, brother, probably they're talking about the Jewish people. Where are they, the Jewish people? They didn't do anything about that. They were only asking questions to him. That's all they did, right? So what I'm trying to say is, you look into the events correctly. Look in and watch into the events exactly what they are telling and what are the contradictions happening in between what in the Isaiah 53 and when you compare with the Matthew and also in Mark 11th chapter about the story of coming in the colt or getting popularity among the people. So that's totally opposite, completely opposite. It's not like that. Messiah was not like that when predicted in Isaiah 53. Even number 2, Jesus walks in there in the city and he saw a fig tree, because see, he walked in the city, he was hungry, he saw a tree. That was not the season for the tree to blossom. That was not the season for the tree to produce any fruit or anything. So if that is not the season to produce anything, how come, how Jesus expected the tree to give him a fruit? Think about that. And Jesus is very angry, very, very angry. And he was like, no, this is not correct, because this is supposed to be like it is supposed to be producing fruits, and also he curses that one. And again, the controversies. When you go and check in Matthew chapter, in Matthew, this one comes after the after the event where Jesus cleansed the temple. And then this one is coming. This event is coming. Cleaning the fig tree. But in Mark, fig tree event is first, and the cleansing event is coming after this one. See, always contradictions, always some discrepancies in this gospel. You might say, brother, this is easy. It's going to happen. Why you are taking it so seriously? Everything is counted in historical way. In historians look into everything, who copied from whom, how they copied, where they copied, what they copied. Everything is countable. As I said that, everything was copied from the Old Testament and they put it in there, they wrote it there. That's the problem in the New Testament. So fig tree, talk about the fig tree, how bad for the fig tree. Jesus was cursing the fig tree. How come? Isn't he a God of love? He's a loving God. So why he didn't love the tree? Why he didn't bless the tree instead of cursing? He should have blessed it very easily. Why he didn't do that? He could have done this one, right? What is the point in cursing the tree? And then also in Matthew chapter, the tree withers all its leaves on the spot. In Mark, he didn't mention anything about the withering of the trees leaves, but in the Matthew chapter, the tree withers its leaves on the spot. That's just like a magical thing. If Jesus was the God, he would have done much better than this. He should have blessed the tree and made the fruit on the spot. That would have been much more beautiful than this. He was cursing the tree not to produce anymore. It's not only that. He is not only cursing the tree, he was also cursing the other things like the generations, because the point is, I didn't get the fruit from this tree, no one is going to get any fruit. That's not the good idea, right? That's why he cursing the tree. That's not fair for the tree, or that's not fair for anyone. I am not getting the fruit, you're not giving the fruit, I am not going to allow you to give fruit to anybody. You're cursed or a done deal. That was a very cruel act. Actually, if you see in Exodus 15th chapter, verses from 22 to 25, Moses, encounters this issue of the water problem. The water was bitter, water was sour, so people couldn't drink it. So what Moses was doing, he cuts a branch of a tree and he throws it into the water, and the water becomes sweet. See, Moses blesses the water. Moses blesses the water and the water becomes sweet. And he could have done this one, the same thing. He could have done the same thing to the fig tree. Instead of blessing, he cursed the tree. Jesus always, sometimes he would present himself as an angry man. That's, you can see in every places, right? So also in Deuteronomy 20:19, this is a law itself, because 20:19 says that, if you are waging war, if you are engaged in war, if you are in the war situation, you should not chop any tree. The reason why? The trees would give us some fruits. So probably if we are running out of any food materials during the war, these trees could produce good food and good good fruits and everything. So during the war situation, it is a law in the Bible. It says that the Jewish people, they shouldn't be cutting or chopping any trees. So that means Jesus violated the law. He shouldn't be cursing the tree to get the tree to be cursed and withered all the leaves and make the tree to die. So that was absolutely unacceptable what Jesus did, right? So think about this, folks. It is not supposed to be. He should have blessed, or he could have blessed. He didn't do it. He was cursing. He was always angry on this one all the time. If you ask anything to Jesus, he would never say any answer. He would always repeat with something else. He'll always direct you to something different. So Jesus would never give you any answer to the questions. And also, the third event. This is a huge event, folks. The third event is a very huge event. This was about the, wait a second, let me see what exactly that. I told you about the, cleansing of the temple. Matthew writes the cleansing of the temple. Mark writes the cleansing of the temple, meaning Jesus went in there and he was chasing out the people in the temple because they were selling. Let us see. Okay. Let us read. Let us see. In Mark chapter 11, verse 15, it says that, and they come to Jerusalem. And Jesus went into the temple and began to cast out that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers and seats of them that sold doves, and would not suffer that any man should carry any vessel through the temple. And he taught, saying unto them, is it not written, my house shall be called of all nations the house of prayer? But he have made it a den of thieves. So first of all, in the Judaism, if you go into the temple, nobody is allowed to do anything inside the temple. Any selling business, anything, it wasn't practiced right from the beginning itself, because that's against the law. No one could sell anything inside the temple, but outside the temple, yes. And it is expected. It is expected. We needed money changers. We needed dove sellers, sheep sellers, or anything. So why? Because during this time of the festival season, Jerusalem will be packed up. Millions and millions of Jewish people will be flooding into the city of Jerusalem. Even the Roman kingdom or the Greek kingdom, they were suffering a lot. They were afraid of this group of Jewish people walking in, because they were afraid that it could become a revolt against this Roman kingdom. They didn't want that. So they actually doubled the security. They put in the security, extra security for that place, because these places were bombarded or completely filled with the Hebrew or Jewish people during the festival season. Okay, so when they come in, they came from so far away places, probably from they came from France or Germany or anything, Poland or Italy or wherever it is in the European countries, maybe Russia or Scotland, anywhere you can say. The people, they poured in from long way to come into the to the temple. Think about it, to celebrate the festivals. Think about this one, folks. They cannot bring all those animals from there to here. It's going to be difficult for them. So, when they come for offerings to the in the Jerusalem temple during the festival season, there were a lot of sellers were outside the temple, not inside the temple. Inside the temple, none of them was allowed to have any people to sell or anything. But outside, yes, there were money changers, because people came from different countries. They brought different cash. So they need to change those cash, and it is expected and it is allowed to have money changers. It is allowed to have people to sell their sheep or dove or anything. It was allowed in those days to do all these things. And why would Jesus? So this is so unusual, or unacceptable, that Jesus went inside and he chased out all these people, and he was also not allowing anybody to enter the temple. Already they were not going inside. That was a rule. There is no need for Jesus to go in there to chase them out from the temple, because no one was inside the temple. Everything was happening outside the temple. So this story somehow kicked in. We don't know why. We don't know why this story was kicked in and how this story happened, how this story made it to the New Testament. We don't know. But this is not right. Jesus shouldn't be, beating, or Jesus shouldn't be doing this. Whether he did it or not, we don't know. But the author writes it there. Probably author wrote everything, to make us to believe, or to make us to understand that Jesus was a God at the time, so that he could do anything. He was controlling people in the temple system, and he told them not to bring, no one should bring any offerings until unless it has been approved. So, which was not right. And if you think generally, if that's also not right, because they had all the selling market outside the temple, not inside the temple. This is history, and this is proven. So again, one more flaw in Matthew chapter 11, the way that it's been narrated and what are the things that we found was not correct. Guys, you need to take care of this one. You need to understand. Okay, always, please search for it. Search for God. Why they copy? Why they copy from New Testament, from the Old Testament? Why they copied everything from there and put it in the New Testament and call it as the Bible? And I would like you guys to go and research on this one, find out what was the reason. Don't get try to justify just because you were in the belief system for 100 years and whatever you say is right. Do not justify that. We want a tangible evidences. This is what it happened. This incidences was told in the different Bible book. You should give me the answer. You should give me the exact thing. Then we can take it out from this place, from the listings. But still, then Jesus was not God in the first century, and Jesus had a lot of problem narrating the story of gospel stories. So, folks, and I hope you got this one clearly, and you have a wonderful night, and may God bless you. God be with you. Take care of yourself, and let us meet. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. But I would like to finish this chapter so quick, so you never know. I might pop up tomorrow. All right, guys. Shabbat shalom. Shavua tov. May God bless you. God be with you. Take care. Bye bye.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא ועת נעשה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה